Racism. I've been there. I am there. I've had my own share of it. So hello fams, welcome back to another episode. It is me, your lady Blessing. I am in Cyprus. I'm currently living in Cyprus, precisely North Cyprus. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, so whenever I upload, you just see my video on time. Okay, so please do that, and let's just get into this very sensitive topic. Okay, normally, first of all, that's the way I do it. Before I dive into a topic, I kind of try to explain what the topic is and everything. So me, at this stage, I've been staying in abroad for about a couple of reasonable years. So, let me just say, first of all, I'm a Nigerian. I was born and raised in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, but during in my 20s, I transitioned to staying abroad. So I have a lot of experience. So let's just talk about it. Firstly, what I would say is that I don't need to look up to the dictionary and say what is the meaning of racism. Let me say it in a basic, normal terms that it will be very translatable. Racism is an institution or a group of people that feel that they are more superior to the other. So this set of people, A is superior to B, so B is inferior. That is just what, in the literal terms, what racism is. You can check it up in the dictionary. Well, with my experience, I don't need to check any dictionary meaning. Racism is when a particular thing or whatever or person feels more superior than the other person and treats the person in a biased way, second class way. So that's just what it is. So let me just talk about the racism now. Racism in its own is like the global terms, okay? Just like what is actually happening right now, that blacks are coming out to say our life matters. Actually, all life matters, okay? So, but because the black race, we've been maltreated for a very long time, that's why we're specifying it. But all life matters, but everybody should know that everything is equal. Black, white, green, yellow, we are all human beings, humans. And there's one thing that is just so basic, that nobody, when you're conceiving your mother's womb, you never chose to be black, or you never chose to be white. You just came up to this world to see yourself who you are. So the point is that we have blood flowing in our veins. I know everybody knows that, but that's not what it is. So racism is something that has been for the longest time, because when I get into, because this season now is the time of talking about racism and everything, the awareness is becoming like mind-blowing and everything on a good direction. So when I discuss with people, I like to put my discussion constructively. Let's just know that this racism of the whole thing didn't start with George Floyd. It didn't start this year. It has been there for donkey of years. Slavery, you can just start counting. So it has been there. So that is the point. And when we want to talk about something, like a person like me, when I'm talking about an issue, I would definitely talk about the issue, the cause, and how the solution. So that's how this video is going to be. The cause or the racism, what has been happening and everything, the reason to it, and the cause and the main solution. That's how this video is just definitely going to be. So it has been there in America, so many things in Africa, especially the West Africans. They came to Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, took so many of us to the Western world and everything, to this Western world and everything, to build up their place and all that. But we've gone past that stage. Okay, let's just forgive and let's just move on. But the point is that this thing still happens systematically. It still happens whereby when you go to this thing, is not even something that I have to educate, because but majority of people, I think I have to educate even more Africans, because when I was back in Africa, Nigeria, I never knew the intensity of racism. But when I came over here, so I now understood very well what this whole shebang is about. So like an institution, the top roles, the managers, those things, that thing, the administrative, all those things, the first position basically will be handled by the white people, while the staff and everything will be the people of color and everything. So it's not in like 90%, 10% is where you can see some black and Asian and everything there, but in the last percentage, this is it. So many opportunities, many everything, you just have to be this certain color. All right, so it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing because you see somebody that you're very, very, like, you're more than a person in terms of intellectual capability, or maybe in that field that you guys are, you're doing very well. Just because of your pigmentation, you are not allowed to get to the position that you are, or it takes time before what a person of a certain color will get within 1 year, you will take like 10 years or 5 years. You understand? So that's a really big problem. So, but now we've done. I'm just done with the racism thing, which is always whites feeling more superior than blacks and the Asians and the rest of it. So let me tell you something. There are layers to this racism that needs to be, if we want to change the paradigm, if we want to make everything to be equal, it's not just going to be only in America. It's not just going to be only in one place. It's going to be all over the world. So let me explain this. It's just like, for example, let me put an example, then I'll go to the point. Example, a nation is being made up of different sectors. So it starts from the family, husband and wife and children, from there to the community, the local community, from there to the state, from the state now to the nation, from the nation now, like each nation, African nation, everything, to the world. So this is the position that racism holds. Racism holds the global position, but there are other things too. Racism is like the global terms for it. But now let's go down below and check, because we are now trying to check what is the reason for this and to look for solution basically. So now, below now, one step backward is what they call tribalism. Like I initially said, I am from Nigeria, I'm a Nigerian, and my parents are from Akwa Ibom, Nigeria. So you know that there is Lagos, Nigeria, but my parents are from Akwa Ibom, Nigeria, and Akwa Ibom is the south part of Nigeria. Then my parents they are living in Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is always also the south, but it's not the same state. Okay, so we were all born and bred in Port Harcourt, but there are so many things that we encountered just because we were not real indigenous of Port Harcourt River State. You get what I mean? We're born in Port Harcourt River State, but we are not indigenous. We are not from that state. So this, let me just mention some of the example of the things that we witness, just like racism that blacks are witnessing and everything. This one is Africa, this is Nigeria. But just for the fact that I and my family, we are not from where we are residing, we are not from the state. Let me give you examples of what we were encountering. Example number one, as somebody that is not a Rivers person living in Rivers State, you cannot contest election. You cannot go for any government position or whatever. You cannot even work in government facilities like parastatals. You cannot work there. You cannot work as a you cannot be a civil servant. You cannot work in the, what they call it, you cannot work in the government hospitals and everything, because these slots are given to the Rivers. So these slots are given to the people, the indigenous of the land. And this is very, very not good, because people, we are born and bred in this Port Harcourt. So it's right for we to have the same opportunities, just like our counterparts that are originally, that is their land. We're supposed to have the same thing. It's just like if you give birth in US, automatically then your child has a US passport and is a US citizen. So that's what I'm trying to say. But I'm bringing it down now to the tribalism, now the nation kind of racism. So we weren't allowed to do all those basic, as in you cannot have those basic position. Again, like I said in one of my videos, as a Rivers, as a somebody that is not from Rivers State, immediately when you want to get into university, you just get so many advice from relative people, as in everybody that wish you well, that the easy for you not to be staying at home for about 3-4 years. What you do is that better go and apply to school where you're from. That's the universities in your own local where you're originally from. Despite that, you don't even necessarily have connection with them, like real life lifestyle, just because how like your own tribe. Despite that you're not even born in your own tribe, but you are kind of in a way structured and obliged to go back to your state and apply for all those things. The list goes on and on. How you've been cut off, you've been having limitation. There is quota for only Rivers people. There is this. It will be the Rivers people first before other people. Is it not the same thing like racism, which is going to be only the whites before the black, the people of color? It's the same thing that I'm saying. Tribalism. These are things that my family, I as a person, I witness, like for real. Let me tell you another one that is very crazy, that everybody that is from Nigeria, you can just attest to it. You can comment below and just say, just say the truth. In Nigeria, there is something they call Jesus Christ, first class citizen, second class citizen, and the third class citizen. And in case you guys don't know more about Nigeria, let me just educate you. They call the first class citizen the northern part of Nigeria. So the west is the second class. Then somehow east, south, we are all meshed together. Imagine merging east and south, merging them together as the minority. Okay, so only north is so-called supposedly the first class. Then the west, which is the Lagos, the Yorubas, are the second class. Then the Igbos, the Rivers are the third class. And let me explain. The resources of Nigeria presently 2020 comes from the south, the southern part of Nigeria. That's where we have the hub. That's where we have the natural resources. The oil, the crude oil is in our place, south, River State. Akwa Ibom is there. Then the people that they call first class, the North people, all what they can produce is rice or potato. They don't nothing significant to the country. Then the west, which is the Lagos, Nigeria, the Lagos, entertainment, tax, all those things, that is what is their major source of income and everything. So the bulk money, the bulk resources, the bulk everything that makes Nigeria what you guys know about Nigeria is coming from these people that they call the third class. That's really the south and the east. Come to think about it. So why I brought this point is that we're just keeping it real. Okay, why I brought this point is that now in Nigeria, for 30 something years, the presidency comes from this North people. Northern presidency. Then they will not give vice to the West, more to the West, coincidentally, they will just give to the South. Bing, bing. But there is a northern there must be in position. You forget it, that means you don't want to do that election. So for 30 something years they bring the president. So the West was not coming out. The Lagos Nigeria was like, no, we have to get position and everything. So they will rule for 8 years. They will not give a West the presidency for just 8 years, and it will not go back to them. Forgetting the main people that brings the main resources, the oil, the crude oil, all the things, the gas, everything that you guys know about Nigeria. Forgetting those people. So coincidentally, that was how can I forget? Goodluck Jonathan time. I think 2014 or 13, something like that. This Goodluck Jonathan, maybe I can put his picture if I have the strength. He was now giving the vice president one vice. I believe that is coincidentally they will now bring a South as a vice president, not even a president. Okay, they will now make him the vice president. So coincidentally, the president, which is coming from the North again, now died. He died on the seat. So that was, can you not call that one a miracle? That was just coincidentally that a Southern person became president, not because he was chosen for the position to be a president. It was the vice. So the president died while he was on seat. That was the reason why he got that position. So as a Southerner growing up and everything, you already just know that you cannot get to the peak of Nigeria, like the peak seat. You cannot be the president and everything just because you're not from the North. It's still the same thing as racism because you're not white. You understand? It's really crazy. It's really crazy. So this system is everywhere. It just depends on how amplified it is, but it's the same feeling, the same structure, the same everything, but in a different category, but it's the same thing, the same practice. So imagine this kind of a thing. The main people that are bringing the oil, everything that you know about Nigeria are called the third-class citizens. You guys, if they ask you globally now, the basic Nigerian languages, Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. Like, I'm not even going there. So, but my point is, I'm just trying to tell you that these things have its level, and it has always been existing ever, like forever. Alright, now, so not to make this video too long, what is the main problem? Why is this still like this? Are we going to just live like this, or create a thicker skin, a tougher skin, just to flow and just forget that this is what life is? Or what can we do? My own is that what I'm going to be saying, because this video is just going to be too long, is that if there wants to be a global change, it's not just going to be only Black Lives Matters and all those. There are so many underground work that needs to be done from the grassroots. Eradicating all these things. Let me be honest, me that is saying this, maybe 0.1% of this thing washing away, because this is something that is so deeply rooted in the community, society, nation, and everything. So it cannot just happen like that. It will take long, like it will take like so long. So in conclusion of what I'm trying to say is that I believe as individual, for we to be able to live and for we to be able to do this change and stopping this racism and everything, there's a lot of things I can even say about racism. I experienced it. Even the so-called people of color, Asians. When I was in Philippines, I got my own share of racism. like my own racist experience, I got a lot. So like it's not like blacks, we are in a way, the way the structure is, we are in the list of the lists. So even the yellow people can raise the black people. If you've not experienced it, don't think like, don't, if you're just only in always like America or something, you think it happens. Africans that are studying in Asia and everything, let them tell you their experience. And you guys already knew the coronavirus during the March, April. You saw what China was doing to Africans. That's what I'm saying. So the thing here is that for me, my own analysis is that if there will be a change, it will come from individual. It will come from the hearts of every individual. Though I believe that there are some laws that have to be put in place, but it will start from the hearts. It will start from the heart of every individual, to see every one of us as humans that we are, and treat everybody equally, just the way it is meant to be. That is where I think that this our Black Lives Matters, all these things that we're doing can have the stand, because let's not just make it something that will just be popular for a while and it's just die down and they will just continue to do normal old whatever thing they do. So I believe, in conclusion of this whole matter, is that each and every one of us as individual, both black, white, yellow, green, blue, we should have love in our hearts and decide to treat everybody as humans from our own heart, then express the love. Because you just imagine that I, as a black, I love my white counterparts or my yellow counterparts. I treat them just the way I would treat my own race. So there will be no need of this whole shebang. Even the white counterpart, just believe that I will treat the blacks the same, with love and everything. Everything will be equal. It just starts from we as a human being, to just decide the change and everything from our hearts and express it. That will really happen. But if we just want to be doing the surface, my dear, this structure is like crazy. It's like crazy. It's not a child's play. It's not something to joke about. It is in the system, in all systems. So this is my own part of racism. But in conclusion, I believe that love, genuine love from the heart, is what can eradicate this whole thing from our world as a whole. Thank you guys for watching. I would like to hear your comments on whatever, anything related to what I'm saying right now. What have you experienced, and what do you feel about what I said and everything. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next one. Bye.